Hi everyone, welcome back to MGS Coaching Football. We've completed spring ball, and so here I am back making our drill videos again. This drill today, called Throw Our Outside Arm drill, is for pass rush, blitz, footwork, and hips. Essentially, it's a recovery drill, as you'll see. I'll go over how to set it up and execute it. It's a pretty basic drill, but it's really, really important. And what we're trying to accomplish. Like I said, this is a recovery drill. If you happen to be blitzing or rushing the quarterback, it's when you go past the plane of the quarterback, what do? Right? And then I'll finish with frequency and volume. So first things first, setting it up, it's tangible landmarks. Here I'm using the hash marks. It's spread out over 10 yards, but in this day and age of field turf, we got blue lines, right? We got lines everywhere. Sure, you can do it off the field or on the field. We align our linebackers, in this case single file, but DBs can do it, defensive ends can do it. All right, the coach is the movement cue. This is the S is the starting cone. Okay, we have them simulate the feet and hands on the cone. PB is the pass blocker, quarterback, pass blocker, quarterback. All right, for the coach, when in this case the linebacker clears the first pass blocker, then he gives the movement cue for the next linebacker. That's for the coach or the manager or GA or whoever's doing it. Okay, you know what resources you have. And when you complete it, you stay over here, and I'll cover that when I get to frequency and volume. So why do we do this drill, right? It's a recovery drill for when you go past the quarterback, right? We always talk about, don't go past the quarterback, go past. Well, they're going to go past the quarterback. They're either going to get driven past by the blocker or their own momentum, and the quarterback steps up in the pocket, they're going to go past the quarterback. So what do? You got to always teach your guys what to do when things don't go according to plan. So what we teach them is how to throw their outside arm in order to flip their hips. In other words, redirect their momentum back toward the quarterback. So when we talk about, right, here are my hips, when I throw my arm, it redirects my hips, okay, back to the quarterback. Throw my arm, instead of my hips going this way, now my hips are going back towards the quarterback. And it's not as easy as it seems, even doing it, on cones, as you'll see. I mean, the better the athlete, the smoother they'll be in everything. But for, your average athlete, football player, it's not going to be as simple as you think, hence that's why you need the drill. Okay? So the purpose, when they go past the quarterback, flipping their hips or redirecting, keeping the speed as much as possible. You can't be going full speed, oops, stop, turn around, right? You don't have that, so how can you redirect that speed back to the quarterback? Well, for us, it's by throwing their outside arm. Okay, so when they're going to the right, it's the right arm. When they're rushing from the left, it's the left arm. That's the outside, okay? So kids are different. If the quarterback is to their left, the outside is the right. If the quarterback's to their right, so how do your players think? You got to be willing to coach a little bit differently depending upon who your player is, right? And so every drill, you got to have a finish. For us, we want them to finish when they get to the quarterback, stay this side of the quarterback, chop with the near arm while throwing the outside arm because they got to continue the drill. So when they get to this one, they can just finish with the near arm chop. But you got to explain all of that, or young kids will, high school young kids, freshmen, sophomores, 14, 15-year-olds, they might stop here. Or down here, they might keep going, you know what I mean? So demonstrate it and make sure you're clear and be patient. All right, and so that's how we set the drill up. That's the purpose of the drill. You always got to have a counter move. When you go past the quarterback, for us, it's throw the outside arm, flip those hips. And be prepared that you still got to defeat hands. I mean, just because you do that doesn't mean the pass blocker is going to stop blocking you either. So there are other things that you can add to this. You can do it eventually with a live pass blocker, so they get used to having to continue to defeat the hands, all right, in order to get to the quarterback. Because Young kids are going to think, oh, yeah, this is, and then they get in the situation and they do that, and then the block is still there. They're going to freeze. They're not going to know what to do. Okay? So last and certainly not least, frequency and volume. You know, how often do we do this? And then when you're doing the drill, how many reps do they get? For us, it's a preseason cycle 3 drill, which means for us, our individual fundamentals and techniques periods are divided into 3 cycles. The ones that we use the most in our 3-4 by position are cycle 1, right? Most important. The next important, or the frequency that are used, is cycle 2, and the last is cycle 3. So for some people, this might be more frequent in their scheme, so it might be a cycle 2 or a cycle 1. Okay, don't get caught up in that, but this is how we do it. Okay, for in season, it's a Thursday drill because it's easy to do in helmets, and it kind of gets the kids amped up. They start thinking about their approach, and because they've done the film study, they know what their plan's going to be versus the high hands on this particular opponent when they're rushing, right? So you build all that into this also. And the volume, they get 2 reps. Coming this way, it's to the left. Going back, it's to the right. Boom, done. Okay? So, as always, please, any questions, please reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I'd love to talk football with you.